Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Tech Your Business podcast. Today, we'll be talking about something a bit different from what we usually talk about, and that's construction. We'll be playing around the construction industry in this episode. On today's episode, I have a guest with me. Our guest is Beth Scarano. Beth is the CEO of Launch PM, which specializes in commercial construction project management. And she'll be talking to us about this, about project management and naturally tech she uses in managing her business. So, welcome to the show, Beth.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Thank you. So, tell us a bit about you and what you do.
So, we are a third party construction management, project management owners representative firm, consulting firm, and we oversee design and construction of commercial projects in the office, industrial, and healthcare space. In addition, we work all over the US um, to provide that service to our clients, and basically they take us wherever they need us to be to support their building projects.
Typically, when you look at over the years working on different construction projects and the like, what have you seen that's the main factor that makes construction projects fail?
I think the biggest item that things fail is poor planning, not having a clear understanding of all the project requirements to get from, say, site selection to occupancy, and also not having the proper budget in place or understanding the budget. So the expectations are set properly, and and also just having the right people making decisions. I would say those couple of things really make a project succeed or fail.
Poor planning, project requirements, not having the right budgets, and also not having the right people.
Right.
How has technology helped you in running your company and managing your projects and everything else?
I think what's been super great over the last few years is really the increased availability and use of video conferencing, similar to what we're doing right now on the podcast. It's been enabled us to get teams together in a large group and make things much more accessible and timely than having to wait for in-person meetings and losing time traveling and so forth. So that's been a great asset as far as technology in in today. Also, other tools that we engaged with and use often are things like Monday.com, Smartsheet. Um, we have Plan Grid are some of the things that we use in addition to your standard, Outlook, Microsoft products, and Excel spreadsheets. But those are some of the additional tools that we use in our building in our project management today.
Okay, so when you look at these tools, what is your most favorite, and which of them do you love using the most, and you feel it's without it, it will be difficult to operate every day?
The one tool that we really gotten a lot of great use of is really Smartsheet. We use that to develop our project
Hmm.
schedule. We use it to track meeting minutes. We use it to um, create budgets for the project. So that's been a great tool that we've really continued to embrace and expand the use of in our day-to-day work.
Interesting, smart sheet. So when you also look at this, look at your workflow, you look at the projects you manage, you look at everything. Where do you think technology would make a big impact that it isn't already?
One thing that we've struggled to find and is that we haven't found a kind of overlying project management software that really addresses the type of work and what we need to do for our clients. There's construction project management tools out there. There's property management tools, but from a true owner's rep project manager, there really isn't a project management software tool that really approaches projects and based on the workflow that we have to manage and oversee. So we've struggled with that. We've looked at multiple different products over time, and just haven't found that one that's super great for what we do every day. My goal is to be, in to turn into a technology company at some point and create that tool, but haven't gotten there yet. So
Yeah, that's really important at the end of the day because when I talk to a lot of guests, a lot of them started out trying to solve their own problem and creating something that a lot of people ended up using.
yes, that's a goal for sure.
True. All right. So for the past few years, especially since the pandemic, remote work has become a big thing, and I see you specialize in commercial construction project management. So what has been the trend with commercial construction with the rise of remote work everywhere?
I think there's a combination of things in the commercial construction industry. So, for example, architects, which we work with, every day to design projects, have been allowed to work remotely and even in, different cities, based out of different cities. And like, for example, someone might be based in Dallas working on a project in Phoenix. So that's been kind of a unique situation. Um, However, the day-to-day function of building usually is, feet on the ground, and you have to be, present. But we also have a construction company that has a project manager on the construction side that's actually based out of Nashville doing a project here in Phoenix. And so far it's worked okay because he does have some other team members that are here, physically here on the ground. So I think the key is just the flexibility that it's allowed everyone to work a little bit differently. For example, even my team, they have the capacity to work anywhere. So they can work at home, they can work in their car, they can work on the job site, and they can work in the office, whether they are on an iPad, a laptop, or their phone. We've created that total flexibility to address, where we need to be and what work we need to get accomplished. As far as my office here, we still are in the office and don't really work remotely, but we have if we don't need to, we like to have everyone, in the office. But there are times when you're at a
Hmm.
job site all day and you need to be engaged. So we do have the tools in place to allow that to happen.
What's up, everybody? This is Robert Washington. I am the founder and CEO of Shelter Share, a mobile app that allows you to find nearby shelter before severe weather or other natural disasters. I want to give a huge shout out to my guy Peter on the Tech Your Business podcast, and you can check me out on this episode this week.
You talked about in some cases you have officers in one city managing projects in another or working away from the office. So for these cases, what tips do you have in managing people working remotely?
I think it's just accountability, and then follow through in what they need to accomplish. And I think communication is probably the biggest um, requirement under those circumstances with somebody being in a different location. You can't just pop over and say,
Hmm.
"Hey, did you get this?" You have to be able to communicate.
Interesting. All right. So I was reading on your bio and everything, and I saw that Launch PM has been having about 30 to 40% growth annually. So, what's your secrets? What are some secrets you have for sustaining and achieving that sort of growth?
I think our the biggest thing is that we're super nimble and flexible, and we also can make quick decisions, and we are very focused on client service and delivering on doing what we say we do, and that is created that opportunity for us to have that continuous year over year growth. And our business is based on a referral based business, so it's super important that we do what we say and follow through to create those referral opportunities for next projects.
Hmm. So, for any other small business that wants to compete nationally like yours, what are some tips you have for them to do this successfully?
I think the biggest thing is look for opportunities and the right clients that have that growth potential that allows you to, expand into other cities and other locations. I think getting the right tools in your toolbox that allows you to be effective communicators and provide information quickly and effectively. And I think bottom line is that flexibility to work at all different times of the day is key too. So you could be, just as we're talking today. So I think that's super important as well.
All right. So there's been a trend for the past few months that's AI. So since probably December or January, everybody's talking about different AI tools and how AI is going to kick everybody out of their jobs and everything. So have you used AI in your workflows? And if you have, what are your thoughts on AI?
Yes, one of the things that we've been using a lot, it's called TL semicolon DB, and we use that for all of our video conferencing note taking, and it's been kind of a
Hmm.
cool tool. We've also used, ChatGPT to create some workflows and processes. We're using a company called Trainual that actually has an integrated AI tool to create standard operating procedures or SOPs, and document all of our processes and procedures for each area and department. And then just still looking at a couple other different options. One is Scribe. I think Scribe AI is another tool that we have used as well for some writing, documenting things as well. So we're continuously looking for those things that can make our business more effective and efficient. And AI's going forward in the future will probably be a big part of that. But there's so many options out there. It takes one person dedicated to kind of explore what can this do, how can we use it, does it make sense, is it expensive or not, all those items to address to understand what's the right fit.
That's a lot of tools, really. So, what results in probably time and also cost have you achieved using these all these AI tools in your workflow?
I think the biggest one is this TLDV because it really has saved time. It's super efficient at documenting meeting minutes, and uh, that's been a kind of a great find on our end. So it's really helped us streamline our note taking and our having to sit down and type notes, in a Word document or some other format. It does it for you. So it's been really a great time saver.
So, if you were to talk to your younger self, looking back about 12 years of running and launching Launch PM, and you were to meet your younger self just starting out, what would you tell your younger self? What advice would you give your younger self?
I think my younger self is just don't give up. Uh, Find great people to support what you want to accomplish. And I think most importantly is always do what you say.
Is there anything you'd like to share with our audience? Maybe something I forgot to share or something I've not asked about that you feel they would find value knowing?
I think one of the things that's been kind of is interesting for me is I started this company when I was 50 years old. So I was a late stage entrepreneur.
Wow.
And I think that having the ability to, um, there's always opportunity. So if don't ever think you can't do something. And you can always, if you want to try or create your own business, if you put your mind to it, I think anything's accomplished. You can accomplish anything. And I think that being kind of starting this at a late stage of my life, and then also having to become technology savvy and learning about all the tools and the resources and the ability that you don't shortchange yourself. You can do anything you want if you put your mind to it. So
That's really inspiring, really inspiring advice for everyone. So, for listeners who would like to reach out to you, probably learn more about you or connect with you, how can they reach you?
they can reach me via email, and that's B as in boy, S as in Sam, Carano at launch dash PM.com. And they can also go to our website, which is launch-pm.com, and there's an info uh, email on there as well. And happy to answer any questions or connect with anyone that would like to learn more about what we do or how we might be able to help.
Links will be shared in the show notes once this goes out.
Okay.
All right. So thank you very much for coming on the show and sharing with us on your tools, on your experience, and especially your advice to your younger self. I'm sure a lot of us who starting out either early or later would find it very, very important.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity and thank you very much for having me. Look forward to learning more about you as well.
Thank you. All right. So for the listeners, thank you for coming and being with us on this episode of the Tech Your Business podcast. I'm sure you've learned one or two things because at the end of the day, the essence of this is exposing you to new tools, exposing you to new processes and new things you can improve in your and you can implement in your business to make it better. So for the listeners, thank you for listening and for being with us on this episode. Until next week, when we come back with another episode of the Tech Your Business podcast, don't forget to keep taking your business. Bye for now.